Punk Revolution now! Hey everybody, today I'm going to be doing a video on the coronavirus, COVID-19. This is a super important topic. This is a world event that is shaking up the entire planet, but I'm also seeing a lot of misinformation going around about it, so I wanted to kind of clarify some things. For instance, Donald Trump is saying it's not a very big deal. He's not really concerned about it. You know, just keep doing your normal thing, getting sick and going to work, whatever, not a big deal. Elon Musk also recently tweeted that he thinks the whole coronavirus panic is dumb. So there's that going on. But then there's also journalists who are saying, okay, this is actually kind of concerning. Health experts are saying millions of people are going to die. This is going to have a big impact on our economy, blah, blah, blah. Lots of different information. There's actually a study that showed that left-wing people were more likely to take this virus more seriously than right-wing people who are more likely to think that this is all just panic. So literally, political views are changing the way people perceive this. I want to give some facts so people know what the hell is going on. Well, let's first jump into the nitty-gritty, the numbers. If you're young and healthy, you're very, 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 very unlikely to die from this. I'm gonna be fine. If I get it, it's gonna be like, I get it and it's gone. The death rate, it's really hard to predict this stuff, but we're hearing numbers from between 1% to 3%, and if you're young and healthy, you really don't have to worry about it at all, honestly. So to you, that might sound really small. 1%, and it's even smaller if you're young and healthy and like blah, 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 that sounds fine. But I wanna do some quick math here, okay? How many people in the United States are going to get it? One estimate I read said 96 million people. Let's be conservative and say 50 million Americans are going to get this coronavirus illness. Let's also be conservative and say only the death rate in the United States is 1%. 1% of 50 million is 500,000 people. That is a lot of people who are going to die from this illness. That's like a freaking war. 500,000 people in the freaking United States dying from it. That's crazy. And I feel like that's still like, I'm gonna even be more conservative. Let's just say 200,000 people die from it. Just cut that number in less than half. That's still a very high amount. That's like a freaking war. 200,000 people dying is a fucking lot, okay? And that probably won't be you or your friends, but it could be your friends who have health conditions they don't share with people because they don't want to talk about it. Who knows, heart conditions, asthma, all this. Everyone has health conditions they keep to themselves. There's also going to be elderly people who are really at risk. You probably have some elderly family members. Unfortunately, that's going to be a concern for them. Not saying if they get it, they're certainly going to die. If they get it, they'll probably be fine. But just you do the math, it turns out a lot of people aren't going to be fine. So there's that going on. And then, of course, there's the effects that spread beyond that, which are very, very, very difficult to predict. I already don't even like predicting how many people are going to die, but I'm just trying to do some rough estimate maths here, and lots of people already have, trying to come up with numbers, and the numbers are concerning, okay? Think about worldwide. How many people are going to get it? Probably billions. You do the math, that's going to be tens of millions of people dying from it worldwide. That's like a freaking war, folks. That's a big deal. So, I don't want to do any more estimations because there's a ton we could do. Sit around all day guessing are there enough hospital beds available? Are the hospitals going to be overcrowded? These are things we don't know. That could be an unprecedented issue. But what we do know is right now, at this moment, the stock market is taking a hit. And we know that South by Southwest was just canceled. These are major events in our economy. That's going to have massive impacts on our economy. And that's going to hurt the poorest people the most. Those freelancers and service workers that were dependent on South by Southwest to basically pay for all the things they need to pay for rent for the rest of the year. Okay? That's massive, and we don't even know how much it's going to spread. Is the Olympics going to be canceled? There's a lot of things to consider. Now I just want to talk briefly about the political implications here. One thing that's kind of interesting is Taiwan, which is a country that's relatively less wealthy than the United States and much closer to China, actually has handled this situation very well. They were very aggressive very early on limiting travel and enforcing that if people are sick, they get tested and stay home. And if you actually look at Taiwan, the amount of people who have actually died from this illness is pretty darn small. It's actually very impressive the way they were able to handle it. So that shows that with proper government intervention, this is something that actually can be mitigated. So why the hell are we hearing from Donald Trump and people like Elon Musk that this is not something to panic about, even though only a couple thousand people have been tested in the United States so far, when in other countries, millions of people have been tested? We've barely tested people. We have no clue how severe the situation is in the United States right now because we're not testing people. And we don't really know why we're not testing people. So the CDC and the FDA is not letting states and private labs test people, but we don't know why they're not letting them do that. They said they're going to deregulate, but like right now, there's people in New York who are begging, I need a test, I'm sick, I was just in Asia, please give me a test, and the CDC is not approving it, and no one fucking knows why. Well, Donald Trump is up for re-election very soon, and if you are running for re-election and the economy is going through a recession, you lose that election. That's just the simple facts, okay? Do you think that has anything to do with why he's saying it's not a concern, even though millions of people are going to die? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Americans are going to die? That could be it. Do you think that has anything to do with why tests are not being handed out? Because that makes it look like the issue is not as big. If people aren't getting tested, then we don't know how many people actually have it, and therefore we don't actually know anything about how severe the situation is, and then people will hopefully not panic if they don't know. That could be a reason why. I don't know for sure. These are guesses. Could Elon Musk be saying it's nothing to panic about because his wealth is dependent on the Tesla stock doing well, and if the Tesla stock is not doing well because of a recession, that's going to hurt him, so he wants people to not panic so there's no recession? That could be it as well, folks. Point is, this is something that could have been handled way better. This is something that we should know way more about. But a lot of things we don't know. I gave estimates on how many people are going to die, how many people are going to get sick. I gave estimates, lots of estimates. I don't know how bad it's going to... The truth is, folks, nobody knows, but you should know because it's something we can know and we should know. This is a failure of our institutions to protect us. This is tragic, in my opinion. Just the way it's been handled so far has been tragic. I'm disturbed by the way our government is lying to our face about it, even though this has just barely gotten started. Only a few hundred confirmed cases in the United States. It's barely gotten started. Fingers crossed, all these estimates are just bullshit, but we don't know anything right now. So that is why we need a punk revolution now.